This is the CC Radio Podcast.
Welcome to episode 275 of the Countdown Podcast. I hope your life is going well. My name is Wayne.
And my name is Paul. Welcome to the podcast. We count down movies and sometimes television in order of awesomeness so you don't have to. And today, for episode 275 of the Countdown, as Wayne has already said, we're doing the top 10 film franchises.
Is that the deal? Okay.
Yeah, so what's a film franchise, Wayne?
Okay. There's a little confusion with this, folks.
Well, confusion. We went back and forth during the week.
I actually had to look this up. Okay. Essentially, there used to be some disenfranchisation between film series and franchises. The word franchises usually designates a business or organization or restaurant or some shit like McDonald's, but it's come to mean film series when you talk about a film franchise.
Oh, yeah, for films, yeah.
Right. So that means that if you had, for example, a film franchise which relates to itself and it is its own film series and it gets rebooted, that reboot is not part of that film series. So, like, for example, Ghostbusters has 2 movies on it, soon to be a 3rd. The remake with Chris Hemsworth and the ladies, that is not part of that original Ghostbusters franchise. It is a new thing. That's its own franchise now. Or it would be if it had a sequel. But there you are.
Yeah.
So
we have decided that way.
Yes.
Now, film franchises, you can't pick and choose. You
cannot
can't go,
pick and
you know
choose.
what, these are the good ones and these aren't the good ones. And I'm only going to talk about the good ones. No, you have to consider the franchise as a whole.
Right.
Right? We also agreed on that. And Wayne asked that question. I gave him that.
Has to be at least 3 films long.
Yes,
and
3 films minimum.
The entire one of that lineage of that film line.
And a long time ago on the show, we did the top 10 film trilogies, I think in line with Captain America Civil War, which is that long ago, 4 years, give or take. So we're expanding past that in some way. Some of my film franchises are trilogies. Some are all way longer than that.
Yes.
I'll put it that way. Now, I want to give a big shout out here to the Ghost of the Stratosphere podcast.
Ghosts of the Stratosphere.
Which, in this weird kind of way, synchronicitous way,
Sure.
asked me to participate in a countdown on their show, but not podcast, but a written countdown on their website, gotstratosphere.com.
Okay.
All right, of the top 10 film franchises.
Okay.
This is up against a couple other podcasts, the Okojuro Parlay Hour and the Netflix original movie podcast, Nomcast, as well as against Stu from the Ghost of Stratosphere podcast. So we all put our top 10 up there.
Okay.
Same time, patron extraordinaire Geordie Davidson,
Geordie, yes.
top level patron of the show, said, how about you do film franchises? So I thought, you know what? Let's marry these two together.
And on the website, you only do one piece of work.
Correct.
I know.
And then I did slightly, and I had this big intention. I'm like, all right, I put my list up there, and that's my logical, rational list. It's on the website. I'm getting absolutely pants because I wasn't pandering at all. And then I thought, you know what?
That is new for you.
I'm going to change it for this. I'm going to find a different rationale to go by because I'm just going to get pantsed here as well.
That's fine. And
then I went, you know what? Too much like hard work, and I'm so busy at the moment.
Paul's making his excuses now, and everyone should take that into account when voting. Good to hear. All right.
I barely hit 10 this week. This could be the week, Wayne. We have often wondered when it would happen. We would get less than 10 votes.
You didn't get less than 10.
No. I'm talking about this vote today.
Right, yeah.
Point being, I didn't change much. I changed one thing on upon reflection.
That's exactly how it should be, Paul. And that's how I am. I don't look at the feedback. I just say the thing that offends everyone. So there you go.
Yeah. Or don't even go
and usually lose.
And still get the votes. No, you don't usually lose. We're dead equal, you dumb motherfucker. We will be in very short order. In fact, let's get there now.
Do it.
In the segment that we call The Recount.
Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount?
The Recount is our mailroom. Paul, what's up on the wire?
Well, largely it relates to, in fact, exclusively relates to last week's episode 274, the top 10 uplifting film scenes. It was 9-8 I was leading. 9*8 for you, by the way. But anyway, yeah. Did you give me an absolute spanking?
Oh.
And now I normally don't mind a bit of that, but
nice to hear. Good to hear.
This level, not so sure. 45 votes to you, a paltry 16 to me.
Okay.
At one stage, I was a little bit worried I wasn't going to make 10.
I was spanked last week, so yeah.
There's been a lot of spankings this year, one way or the other. So here's some of the feedback on this. So from Chris Yini, patron extraordinaire, my apologies. Lists were tight. So it goes to Wayne for the heartbreaking but still uplifting Leaving the Pup with the Neighbor story for Toy Story 3.
Still gets me.
Of course.
It wasn't Glurge.
Of
This
course.
is real life.
That was a true story. I'm not knocking it. I should have followed up with, well, I left my cat behind because I was moving into a house with 2 other cats. That might have got me some votes, apparently. But anyway.
I don't know. People don't like cats like dogs.
If you like cats, vote for me this week. Dan Brennick from the Netflix as well podcast.
DB.
Good friend to the show. Patron of the show as well. Said, Wayne, because Paul is a robot.
Do you know what? I was listening back to the episode and I was like, I should have called Paul out on that. I'm like, yo. Paul, let's get you some time with the UX robotics people, and maybe we can make some money. They'll just interview you. They'll be like, "Oh, it's Commander
Bitch,
Data." Okay.
I did get occasional votes. So, like Chris Sutherland, I had Lord of the Rings in my list, so I got his vote automatically.
Part of your block. I
Hooray!
see.
No. Here's the Lord of the Rings voting block. You want Chris's vote? Vote Lord of the Rings. I'll put it in your list. Ron Bruff. Did I get it right this week?
Yes. Well
He
done.
said cousin vote locked and loaded. You had some weird shit I couldn't relate to, Paul. Plus, thanks for the mention. Now, a lot of people said this. Luke James Human said, I fall more on Wayne's definition of uplifting. By the way, once you got there, because I took you about 17 minutes in post-production for me to get it down to something that actually made sense, but that's
I'm
okay.
so
it's
sorry.
okay that I helped you out on that one. Then Jonathan Kidd said the other one, so not just Toy Story 3, was Big Fish, which I've never seen, so what can I do? I was undecided until Wayne said those 2 little words that always get my heart muscle moving. Big Fish.
Big Fish. All right. I didn't think it was that popular.
Which last night my fiance and I literally said, oh, we've signed up to Stan. Let's see if we can find Big Fish. Let's find out what all the fuss is about. It's nowhere. Can't find anywhere.
Isn't it?
Not Netflix, not Stan, not Amazon Prime. It's nowhere. So
Bloody hell, to do things.
Daniel Lowe said, I'm from the UK but lived in Iowa for a short period of time and can't express how much that time meant to me. So Field of Dreams alone gets my vote.
Iowa.
And then from the Contrarians podcast, Julio said, Paul's list was more fuck yeah moments, whereas Wayne's was the kind that really hits you in the feels. So there we are.
How kind.
But to wrap it up, I did get my one little bit of vindication from Lawrence Warren, who said, wow, I saw this poll when I was halfway through the episode and I was expecting Paul to really shit the bed with his top 5. He didn't, though. He had Lord of the Rings, Evil Dead, and I think a better endgame moment. Wayne had a good list, but not 30 votes better.
I beg you to
100%. I agree. Thank you for that, Lawrence. And there you go. That's our feedback. 9-all now heading this week. Wayne will be up 10-9 by this time next week. Then all the Wayne sayers can basically beating off in happiness.
Before you wrap up, can I just tell you something?
Wayne sayers is pretty good.
Prince
I'm not sure you can top that.
Okay, you're right. It's over.
Let's get into the episode proper on the other side of this music cue. The top 10 film franchises is the subject of this week's show, and we've already discussed the parameters. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Wayne, what's your number 10?
Okay, so this is a franchise which you would think would be right near the top, but of course it got penalized
For the shithouse entries in it?
Yes. Or in this case, one shithouse entry. It's Indiana Jones, man. The Indiana Jones franchise falls to 10. Here's why, people. Okay. Yeah, it's on purpose low, man. It's purposely low because check it out. Here you got your Raiders, groundbreaking, fantastic word to Big Bird.
Yep.
Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, my personal favorite. Okay.
Yep.
Then Last Crusade,
Wonderful.
arguably one of the best
Wonderful
adventure films of all time. All right.
All 3 great films. So I don't understand why this drops where it does.
This is why, Paul, because it's so bad. It went so bad that you yourself deny there was a 4th entry.
What entry?
Exactly. What movies franchise do you know where people actively discount the last one?
And it's a widely renowned joke.
Exactly.
That people sharing.
Most people are like, yo, man, this quadrilogy or whatever you call it is wicked. It sort of like screws the pooch in the last one, but they actually acknowledge it.
Yeah.
People don't acknowledge this one. It brought it all the way down to 10 for me, man. So I'm telling you. Otherwise, it'd not be on the list at all. Imagine that life.
Ooh, I do hear where you're coming
Yeah.
from, and indeed, some of my rationale is very, very similar. So I'm not going to give you too much of a hard time there.
There you go.
Obviously, it is coming up on my list. It's just not quite so low.
You know what? It was the Shia LaBeouf of it all.
Yeah,
it was the swinging through the trees.
The
of it all.
LaBeoufness is not great.
It was.
It's
He was
the fridge scene, not great.
Oh, the fridge!
the Kate
I saw that
Blanchett
again.
was-
Do you know how bad that scene is?
Not great.
It's
The
ridiculous.
fact that it's aliens just doesn't fit with
No
this
way,
world.
man. No way.
It's this world that's, World War II, quasi German nut, quasi realistic, then infused with spirituality and
Yes, and you can go
Old
with Bible
Testament
stuff.
and Indian gods of death and all the rest of that.
Once
kind
you
of
go off world, man.
shit. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
agree.
No magic
Terrible,
anymore.
Terrible decision. Therefore, you will understand my number 10.
Go on.
It pains me, Wayne, to say
Ooh,
this.
let's hear this.
Why it's so low, given
right.
how much I love the first, really 4 entries in this series.
Okay. What is it?
It's the Alien franchise.
Ooh, bitch, please. Well, now, see, okay. Aliens didn't even make my
Yeah,
man
fair,
list.
I can understand. I can, and that's fine. The Alien franchise for me begins so strongly. Ridley Scott's Alien, James Cameron's Alien's one of the greatest films of all time, and arguably the greatest sequel of all time, at least in my book.
No, no one's like yelling at that.
I know most people don't like Alien 3, but I have a very soft spot for it, especially the director's cut from David Fincher, I think is a very good film. It just got unfairly kind of cut to pieces.
Yep.
And then, as much as Alien Resurrection has some bad missteps, particularly the newborn, there are still some great sequences in that movie with some awesome kills and the like, and some fun characters. So
I would agree. Alien Resurrection isn't bad. It just had that stupid baby alien thing at the end.
yeah.
Everything else was pretty good.
And it was set up to go to Earth. It was set up for Alien 5 to be on Earth. Basically, the aliens have reached Earth, and how's that? That would be fucking amazing.
that would have been the shit.
Stop fucking around, Ridley Scott, making Prometheus and Covenant, which is why this series drops to here. Partly why.
Is the issue.
Right? Prometheus is one of the all-time most disappointing films I've ever seen.
It is a giant piece of shit.
I think Covenant's better, but it has a lot of problems
Covenant
as well.
it does not solve the problem of Prometheus, and Prometheus is misstep after misstep after misstep. That's what's weird about it. It is beautiful, I'll tell you that.
Look, Ridley
It is-
Scott, there's no question he's
He's
a wonderful
a
liar.
shitlog that. Yeah. He's like Zack Snyder-y in that way.
But then if I'm going to be honest, if we're talking the whole franchise, and we did, that was the parameter we set, you have to take into account AVP and AVP Requiem.
Yes. Oh, is it?
And
Do
I
we?
fucking hate AVP. I fucking hate it with a fiery passion. AVP Requiem, oddly enough, I like better, but only because it's more savage and bloodthirsty. It's still a terrible film. They're both crap films. And so overall now we have a franchise. The highs are so high, it forces it into my list at number 10. But the lows are so low, it could not possibly go any higher.
This is an interesting theoretical argument now. If you say AVPs are in the Alien
They're
franchise...
also in the Predator franchise.
so is it one franchise?
No,
right?
no.
So where do you cut it off?
Well, it's like Freddy versus Jason. One's in the Nightmare franchise, one's in the Halloween franchise.
Okay, so it has to actually...
It
fine.
straddles both.
Okay, no, good call. Excellent call. Yeah, it's just that with Prometheus and Covenant, and arguably 3, there's as many bad ones as good ones. That's why it walked out. But I understand why it's on your list. You like the ones you like enough to bring it through.
Yep.
Cool. My number 9 is a wild card as a motherfucker. Right?
Okay.
But by the numbers, this series have not have a bad film. They've had ones better than others, but nothing.
Of course, always
Right.
going to be
Okay, Jack Ryan. Dude. Now, here's the thing. Before you freak out, let me get on here, okay? Hunt for Red October was the
Which is the
Ducks
one with
nuts.
Chris Pine?
The Shadow Recruit's the last
Terrible.
one. Great movie. Great fucking movie. That film is great. I had a great time with it. I didn't even
Which is
mind
the one with Ben Affleck?
Some of All Fears.
Garbage.
Fantastic. He's using a palm palette to tap his way around. I found that really cool. Okay? All good. And he's also fucking... Some of All Fears was fine. Morgan Freeman and shit. That's all
Wayne is particularly enamored with spy films. You may have worked it out. Between the tech and the suits and the women, he just immediately bars up.
I don't think women are in. Okay, they're in there. So here's the right, but let's say here, right, Jack Ryan, you got your Hunt for October, fantastic. Patriot Games, arguably better. Clear and Present Danger, fan-fucking-tastic. Some of All Fears, I liked Shadow Recruit too. They're all watchable to good films, to great films. So, and 3 of them are unrefuted. The other 2 Paul doesn't like. All right, Clear and Present Danger, man.
It's all right.
That's the dick, man. That's that movie that the fucking CIA or fucking whatever used as a training video
Watched
when
it
they
once. Never watched it again.
It's the balls. It's the fried balls. And who's the dude that's in
Willem Dafoe?
No, but he does wear glasses and he was in Mission Impossible.
Oh, Henry Cezanne.
He's the
bad guy in Mission Impossible?
Well, the
He comes back in the later ones?
yes, yeah. He's the shit. So that whole series is the bomb, man. And if you're gonna throw not because it's film type, but the TV show is actually a reboot. So no, I wouldn't go. Oh no, the TV show is the same character in the same world. So yes, but it's not.
No, is it? So it's like James Bond, you're saying?
It's young Alec Baldwin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
the TV show's not bad. I like the TV show.
But that's not a film franchise, so it's out of the way.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhat surprising. Somewhat.
Struggled with it, went in and out. There it is.
My number 9 is so contentious, I need to use the effects filter.
Oh dear.
My number 9 is the MCU.
Okay. My arm is not long enough for the jerk off motion in my heart right now. Okay, I cannot believe how low this is.
Exactly. This is why I knew I was going to lose. And here's why. 23 films.
Dude.
Right, in this franchise.
Yeah.
Some of them are spectacular. Avengers Infinity War, amazing film. Guardians of the Galaxy, blew everyone's socks off. The first Avengers, fuck, we love that movie. And I don't think we're alone.
No.
Correct? Captain America, I need to watch it again. You love Winter Soldier more than life itself.
More basically.
Yeah. Civil War, excellent film.
The first one was fucking great too.
The first one's okay.
The
First
first
one's
one-
okay. I have no
For
problem.
what it's doing is great.
No problem with the Captain America. But, all right, now I'm going to throw out some of the lesser lights.
You can't
here.
fucking swing for the fence every single time. Go
Well,
ahead.
you can fail really dismally.
In 23
A la
movies.
The Incredible Hulk. A la
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 and 3 to a lesser extent.
I
in
like
my
3,
book. Neither of them are good films.
I like 3, but okay. I know.
Thor, The Dark World. What a piece of shit
I actually
film.
don't even remember
Exactly.
how bad it is.
So now I'm talking about 5 films in this franchise. 20% of these films and more aren't very good.
Yeah.
Avengers Age of Ultron. One of the biggest disappointments I've ever seen at the cinema.
I see where your reasoning is going.
And so my original thinking was, if a franchise is going to be high on my list, it has to be consistently good.
Yes.
It can't have a redhead stepchild.
Here's what's happening.
Apologies to all redheads out there.
I love redheads. If you were a computer, Paul, and you are, that's where you would put this one, okay? Because
You're pinning a lot of hope on Paul's an emotional robot. Paul is logical.
or should I say Hal? Eat my ass! Eat all the asses, man! The thing that by the numbers, I'm
Thank you,
telling you,
Soundboard.
a computer would put it there, all right? But here's what you're missing, all right?
Go on.
No one's ever done this before. 23 fucking movies over 10 years and it made so much money, it's God. Then you have offshoots that coming out. There's actually a stage 4 or whatever.
Yep.
This made an entire, not just a studio, it made an industry, son. This is,
That's a little exaggeration.
come on. Blade wasn't this big.
The film industry was still there.
I'm talking about the superhero movie industry. Everyone's trying to do Avengers. Everyone, right?
Sure.
So that's where it becomes this. It's a zeitgeist. It's not just a film series. This is something that
Look, again,
occupied
you're
an
not,
entire
you're not
generation.
wrong about that this is the biggest.
Yeah,
But we're not ranking the biggest. We're ranking the best.
it's the no. It's not the best because it's the biggest. It's the best because it's the most magnanimous. It's the most.
Magnanimous? So
Yes!
it does this of the goodness of its own heart?
Well, I believe that it has a spirit. Is that what magnanimous means?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? What M word am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Well, okay, the spirit of it is colossal, but it's not.
Look, it's beyond ambitious, right? It is
Right.
the most ambitious film series ever, and it is more successful than probably anyone could have conceived it would be at the beginning of that. I get it. I'm acknowledging I've lost, but I'm being. What I want to hear from you is Paul's not pandering, because Paul is not pandering. Otherwise, I would have found a way.
Yeah,
to
you
put
know
this
what?
way
Yeah,
higher.
you can have that. That's because that actually is the case. This is the first time it's ever happened.
So there you go. Paul is being true to
Okay.
himself, and this is the other.
Warm feeling, isn't it, Paul? Being in the authentic.
Here's the way I rank these is how much do I look forward to the new one that's coming?
Yeah. Are you
Right.
telling me a 7 out of 10, or was this number 8?
Yeah, 9.
9.
9. Every other film franchise above this, I would be more excited about another film in that franchise were one to be released.
I suppose that's on some.
Especially
level.
now it's blown its load with Endgame and Infinity War. Have we
But then
done
you're
this?
judging the next thing, the current thing on the next thing. That's the wrong way to look at
But
it.
it's like, well, if we were still building, which
Yes.
we're not.
Yes, but now you're penalizing it because it completed its task. This is silly.
Not
This
penalising,
is some
saying,
dumb
how
shit.
much do I want to see the next one? Like, how
But
much
it's over. You can't do the next
did
one.
you even have Black Widow in your top 5 most anticipated films of this year?
No, but I fucking hate ScarJo.
I rest my case.
That's not to do with the franchise. That's to do with ScarJo.
Nope.
And also,
Still,
but it's
if you
over.
loved it that
The
much,
reason you're not looking
you
forward
would be
to it,
busy jerking off about Black
dude,
Widow.
the reason you're not looking forward to it
Like
is
the
because it's
rest of the males.
over. It's like saying, I'm looking forward to the next, some franchise that's over. The next Godfather. You know what I mean? Of course you're not looking forward to it. It's over. So that,
But it's
you
not
can't
over. It's
penalize it.
continuing.
It's not. It's stage 4. The actual,
Oh!
the actual series on its own, as we know it, is over now, kind of. You don't see Stark again.
Built to a point, and now we're starting again. That's why I'm saying I'm not as excited
Hence,
about
it's
it.
over.
No. Otherwise, this is. Did they count Spider-Man: Homecoming as the 23rd film in the franchise? Yes, they did. It's not over.
Yeah, okay, fine. You know what? First of all, fuck you
Doesn't
because I
matter.
don't agree,
You
but
still
you
won.
dick.
You won. You won. It's fine.
Don't say that because you. Yeah, all right. Anyway, we'll see how we go.
Wayne just relaxed. You should have seen the look on his face. He was like, "Oh my god,
I don't care
I've
about.
sucked my gut out." Oh,
No,
let it
I
hang
don't
out.
care about the win. I care about your cunt. Good stuff. Okay, well, my number 8, everyone. Yeah, this is me. It's the Austin Powers trilogy. Yeah, baby. Oh, sorry.
It's terrible.
Yeah, baby. The Austin Powers International Man of Mystery comes out. It levels the world. Everyone knows. Yeah, baby.
Levels the world.
Levels the
There's
world,
a lot
man.
of grandiose statements coming from Wayne's side of
Dude,
the table today.
who doesn't know Austin Powers? They know him. Like they know. No, I won't give away the rest of the list. But Man of Mystery, huge cultural
That sounds very
penetration.
good. Very funny.
Spy Who Shagged Me. I remember sitting in the
Excellent.
cinema with
Very
Paul.
funny, yep.
The cutscenes. Of
I
the
think that's the
dancing,
best film.
We lost it. I would agree. And then it holds on Mike. Stupid look. It's so funny. It's so cool. And then now here's the thing. We see Goldmember, and I go, ooh, Tom Cruise, ooh, this, ooh, Steven Spielberg, ooh, this.
We saw this separately.
Yes.
Goldmember.
And at the end, I'm like, that one wasn't
That was
as good.
terrible.
Guess what? Saw it again about 5 years ago. Had a laugh riot, people. Okay, even the fat bastard that.
Terrible.
It actually was better than I remembered it. These are
Wouldn't be
3 good movies.
Nope.
Three
The
good
third
ass
one's
movies,
garbage,
man.
so you're 66.6% of the way there.
No way, man. Goldmember, I'm telling you, I saw it again. If you saw it again now, I reckon you'd be fine with it.
Yep.
I reckon you'd be fine with it, motherfucker. These are 3 good movies, and hence it's my number 8. Austin Powers trilogy. And you know what? If we allowed 2 movie franchises in here, no, I would have put 21 Jump Street in here. Those 2 were so good, I shat my pants. Very good.
All right. My number 8. Also going to get some backlash, I think.
Good. These are interesting lists.
Yes, maybe not. Maybe people will be quite happy with. My number 8 is the Mad Max series.
Now, you know I only pretty much know the last one. I remember seeing...
I'll go through chronologically.
please.
The first Mad Max, Australian iconic film.
Sure.
It put
Mel
and George Miller on the map.
Mm.
Mad Max 2 escalates it in every way. And that's the Road Warrior,
Road
that's
Warrior.
known in North America, is the one that literally takes his character off around the world.
Sure.
A great film. It holds up to this day, almost 40 years later. Fantastic.
I remember having seen it.
Then we skip right ahead to 2015 when Mad Max Fury Road, aka the greatest film of the 2010s.
Whoa.
All right, what am I skipping over? I'm skipping over the Tina Turner shaped hole.
Beyond Thunderdome. I saw that.
Thunderdome.
I saw that in the movie.
Fucking terrible film.
You know what? At the time, I was like, "This is great" because they
That's-
were in the dome and they were flying around on the
crap.
bungee. I know.
And so George Miller sold his soul for a bigger budget and Tina Turner to be in it and dumbed it down to a PG-13. This is a world that does not work with PG-13.
Ironically, we did need another hero.
Anyway, so it took 30 years to get off the scrap heap for the next one to be released. Thankfully, the next one is so fucking good, I want to crap my pants, to use your phrase.
I'm
And hence,
actually
75% of the way there, number 8.
yeah. Given it's your, I know how much you dig that last one and sort of the first few as well. I didn't even think 3 was that bad, but then again, I saw it once in the cinema and I was 15?
I watched it again
14, something like that.
for a guest spot on Go Watch a Movie podcast. Started last year, I want to say. And
Big shit. Yeah.
it ain't good.
No, I'll never watch it again. So okay, you know what? I buy this on your list at this stage. Fair enough. My number 7 is. I wonder how people feel about this. It's Back to the Future, son. What?
Sorry, I smashed my headphones against the microphone there.
In disgust.
My number 7 is the Back to the Future series.
Yes. Okay. Now, can we say though that there's a few dissenters out there who do not like the third one?
Me.
You. So do you dislike the cowboyishness of it all?
I just think it ridiculously doesn't work as compared to the first two, which are such a tight series of films. And the way they interweave between the timelines is so entertaining. Then they just go, fuck all that, let's put them back in 1885 or whatever the fuck it is.
I reckon I know why they did it. So here it is. You've got your 1, you've got your 2. 2 is like, straight into the next one, like to be continued, right? Then I remember after being pissed at seeing that in the movies, it says, join us in whatever months for this one, and then they show bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 and they're on the train, and there's fucking horses, and it's this, and I was like, what is this? What's going on? And I remember actually going to myself, well, this is new and this is different, and I found myself intrigued. Now, the problem is, cowboy shit is very niche, okay? Mm-hmm. It's like all of a sudden making it a sci-fi. All of a sudden, well, it is sci-fi, but
Well, it is sort of. It's mainly a Western.
Yes, that's what it is.
A Western. It's a silly comedy Western with a sci-fi overture, if you will, of we need to get back to the future.
I remember that reading somewhere at the time that as either Spielberg or Lucas said, I really wanted to do a Western, and this was my chance to do it.
Well, then just make a Western, Steven Spielberg. Imagine how much better this trilogy would have been had it been the three timelines of 55, 85, and I think it's 2015.
Yeah.
And we kept between the three of them and then added 2045 for whatever reason.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Now, here's what happened, right? I believe, and I kind of agree with this choice if you look at it creatively, all right? The first one happens, and the next one is in the future, okay? So they max out on the future. They've got hoverboards, they've got they've got that.
Yep.
They can't go to fucking 3000 now. So what do? They go all the way back.
Or
and
just keep it between those three timelines, even better, arguably. And make it even more convoluted as we're now, timeline is affecting timeline is affecting timeline.
But But there was no capacity for that in the 80s, man. The audience would not have taken that.
Hello, we've talked about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where they will say, "Dude, we really need the keys."
That was one crossover inside.
But my point is, they could have done something like that.
If they had, well, if the MCU, right, if they did that fucking timeline shit to the 80s audience, they'd be, what the fuck was that with the streams and the this? And they were just...
People in the 80s weren't less intelligent.
They were all taking coke, and they fucking wouldn't have gotten it, I'm telling you. So, anyway.
Are you sure about that?
I'm telling you, I'm on that, so yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I think that would have worked it out just fine.
Yeah, well, you had to make 80s movies differently because people were leaving the cinema to do blow.
Well, that's you. For me, the first film is an absolute classic, one of the greatest films of all time.
Agreed.
The second one is an excellent sequel. When I was a kid, I thought it was better than the first one, but now I realize as an adult it's not. But still a very, very good film. Builds beautifully upon it. The third one is a clusterfuck of who gives a fuck.
No, it's
don't
good,
like
man.
it at all.
It was good.
I fucking hate the whole, I've got a family, and Mary Steenburgen just falls for the doc because he's weird, and I hate the whole rehashing of the...
when she fell into his arms at the end and the train leaves and they stay, that was a great fucking moment, man. She's staying in the past with
until
him.
they then came back at the very, very
Well,
end.
obviously,
Obviously,
he's
stupid fucking
but he's-
locomotive time train.
Hey, man, he had to make something. Shit. I buy that he'd do it.
Anyway,
Anywho.
we're in agreement where it should be, which is the way down here at 7. Back to you for your number 6.
Okay, my number 6 is the Lethal Weapon quadrilogy or something. Whatever you call a quadrilogy. Is it a quad thing?
Yeah, quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, again, not a bad one. Not a bad one. I know 3. I know people don't like 3.
3 is pretty average.
Here's the thing about 3, okay? So you had that dude, what was his name with the
Stuart
mustache?
Wilson.
Stuart Wilson. Okay. Now the problem with 3 was I liked the bulletproof of the bullets that could go through anything, including a front end loader's.
Dumb bullets, is that what they're called?
Well, they were, I can't remember, but they were red with the points, so they must have been titanium or some shit, right? That was cool. The problem with it was that it was the in-between of all those characters. The bad guy was shit. He was just an ex-bad policeman. He wasn't, a crime boss.
Joe Pesci became a caricature of his character and who was already over the top in Lethal Weapon 2. It was terrible.
Do you know what it was? And it wasn't Chris Rock's fault. Okay.
Chris Rock doesn't help things.
It doesn't help things. And it was just like, oh, I see. Whatever. That was fine. But 4 with Jet Li, we liked that movie.
4 was much better.
Come on. 4 was great with a slow-mo. And that was where Richard Donner actually had obviously been watching Hong Kong cinema, because there were moments in there which was straight out of it. Like when Jet Li's getting, the guns all pointed at him and then he rips it up and it's all good shit. That was great. And even at the end with the fight with the two guys fighting one Jet Li, fucking killer. So I love Lethal Weapon series, man. I think, yes, 3 is the low point, but every single one of them I'll watch again.
I wouldn't watch 3 again. I'm done.
Really?
I'm done. But yeah,
Okay.
1, 2, I could watch 4 again. But 1 and 2 are great. 4 is pretty good. 3 is terrible.
The bit with Chris Rock and Joe Pesci doing a scene about the phone and stuff like that, I didn't mind that. But okay, each to their own.
I get it. Not a bad choice. My number 6, I expect to be higher on your list.
Bring it.
Not exceptionally high. I'm thinking one or two places.
Okay.
Let's see. It's the Mission Impossible series.
Oh, it's on my list.
Yeah, okay.
Please, let's talk about the Mission Impossible franchise.
Let's acknowledge the bastard child in the room. That the terrible, terrible, horrendously bad John Woo entry, Mission
Number
Impossible
2.
2.
Yep.
That's what drags it down here.
Totally.
If you took that out of the equation, my next worst one is Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. No. The second worst is 3, right?
I like the personal element of 3. I think that's what this series has done well. It's aged like a fine wine.
That is true, because so did
Generally
Tom
speaking.
Cruise.
Yeah, generally speaking. The first one, you and I love. I know it has its detractors, but I really, really
Does
dig.
it?
Yeah, it does. I really, really dig that first film. Again, the less said about the second, the better. The third one adds personal stakes, and then the fourth one, you love, Ghost Protocol. I think
That's my
pretty
favorite.
Good.
You know what? Just one quick on the third one. The reason that one I think is the second worst is that J.J. Abrams just came off like Felicity or something. If you look at how number 3 is shot, it looks like a TV show. He's holding like 2 shots and close 1 shots a little long.
Okay.
Like you know, like that. He's still
I
learning how
watched
to
this
shoot.
at the cinema, so
Yeah, I don't mind it still.
fond memories of it. Fourth one, also fond memories. Think it's very good. Rogue Nation, and then Fallout.
Rogue Nation, oddly, even though it's a good show with the hanging off a plane or all that sort of shit, right? It's oddly, for some reason, loses its way between, like, it's not distinctive by comparison. You can tell the ones where shit happened.
Well, I think what about Rogue Nation that really works is Christopher McQuarrie comes on, starts throwing back to the other films in the series a lot more.
That was the best.
Right?
Yes.
And then he actually keeps the villain from Rogue Nation,
I
who
know.
who becomes the major player in Fallout as well.
Which I didn't figure out.
Which really is now the world building is happening in this series, and it's not just Ethan Hunt, it's not just Benji and Ving Rhames and everything else now. So
Yeah, good point.
The
Yeah,
fact
good
that
point.
it weaves back together so much better than it ever has before has me so excited about number 7 when it finally comes out, whenever that will be.
2 words. Rebecca Ferguson.
And again, I know
No,
you're
that's-
Rebecca Ferguson.
That she's part of that ongoing sort of 3
She
movies
absolutely
thing.
is.
So
Yeah.
it's like it becomes cooler, and she's a great love interest for him and me. So
You only have to beat Ethan Hunt for her heart.
I think I may be fingered there, but never mind.
You're number 5?
Batman! And I'm talking about the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy.
No!
Yeah, I know. Now you would think... Hey. I understand your surprise, but not your shit-sensitive comedic timing. Now, I'm the biggest Batman fan probably on the planet, although I have met a few that are bigger, right?
Literally.
Yeah, big men, all right? Now, so I adore Batman, and I adore Nolan's Batman. It is not perfect, but there is no such thing as a perfect Batman. So this is as good as it gets. If I'm going to rank these, it goes Night, Begins, and then Rises.
The only ranking that matters.
Right? So I think that just this you might consider low for me.
I
But-
do.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be arguing about who had this higher on their list.
Yeah, it's just I don't know exactly.
Rises lets the team down a little bit.
That's definitely the low
But
point.
there's a lot of plot elements in Rises that
That
do
is
not
what
work.
kills it, okay? If, again, I told you, Nolan's talent is putting ridiculous shit on the screen and you buy everything.
And arguably some pretty terrible action scenes in Batman Begins. Some really badly shot fight choreography.
You reckon?
Yeah, Batman Begins fight scenes are
Like on the ices? Oh, I see. what you mean.
rudimentary at best.
Yeah, he actually developed a style in Dark Knight Rises. Sorry, Returns. I mean, the Dark Knight.
Dark
sorry.
Knight. Better.
Yeah, it's like a Krav Maga thing that he's doing. So it's definitely that it got to develop. And fine.
But the way it's shot, like it's not fluid, it's too many cuts,
Yeah?
it doesn't flow well.
I heard someone
But
tell
you're
me
not
that...
really there for the action scenes in that sense.
Oh, no, you are. But like I've heard someone say to me that Begins is one of the most satisfying movies they at the time had come out. I'm like, really? Because I never thought about it that way. I'm like, yeah, all right. I'd still think Dark Knight is the thing, right?
But versus that, think of the car chase scene or the motorbike chase scene in Dark Knight and the huge the truck flipping.
thing with the flipping over, absolutely. These and
It's down. So like these grandiose moments work. His so to speak down and dirty fight scenes don't.
Fine. I'll go with that. But like my real problem is that Rises had like the police were under the ground for 6 months.
Just kill them.
Like, just what is that? Like it's when they wrote, it feels like they wrote and said, "Just will people buy this?"
Well, it's a
And then-
PG-13 film. We can't kill the whole police force
Well,
from
that's
Gotham.
it. But literally, like, if you're a writer, you're like, "Do you think anyone will buy this?" And someone said, "Look, Nolan's doing it. They'll buy it. Right? They'll think about it later and go fuck off. But for the moment, they'll buy it, and that's what it is." So, other than that, it would have been high if
Ah.
they just made it more believable.
My number 5 is where I put Indiana Jones series.
Sure, I get it. It wasn't as offensive. No, I don't get it. You won't even acknowledge the fourth one. It should
What
be
film?
lower. Exactly.
No, of course, I do
So-
acknowledge it. Only for this list. This is where it drags
I
it down
suppose
to.
5. I
If you
suppose-
took
yeah, okay.
this one out,
Yeah.
if you took out Crystal Skull,
It's
no question it's number one.
is it really?
Absolutely. Without any worry whatsoever. If the worst film in your series is Temple of Doom, and it is Wayne, the worst film in the series is objectively Temple of Doom. It's the worst made. It has the worst characterizations in it. It's the least balanced in terms of action and drama and character development.
I think you're forgetting about Chilled Monkey Brain. Great fucking show.
It's a good movie.
yeah.
Not denying it. Very enjoyable. I just don't think it's anywhere near as good as 1 or 3.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But if that's your low point, what a low point.
absolutely,
You know
you're
what I
right.
mean?
You're right. You're right.
Raiders is the greatest action adventure film made of all time. I honestly believe in our lifetimes it will never be beaten.
And plus, when you see, you know every word, you know every scene, you're so fond of it, you could just, it's actually good to watch again.
And you and I, we may be alone here, but we believe that Indiana Jones is a better character than Han Solo.
Yeah, I prefer Indy.
Like, to imagine Harrison Ford carving out two such iconic characters.
That's what a lot of people say about his career. It's like, this guy fell into Clover. He fell into Star Wars, then he did another one, like Indy, you know?
Did
It's
he
like,
fall into
you
it? Did
didn't
he
fall into
make
shit.
it his own?
He absolutely made it his own. Harry is Harry, man. That's why he's Harry. You know what I'm saying?
Charming as a motherfucker.
Fucking so good looking
Just
and want to shit. It's like,
incredible.
fantastic. And plus,
cool.
charm.
Yeah, exactly. And is accomplished. Like, he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone beefcake, but he's got a physical presence that
Absolutely,
he
he
sells
does.
those action scenes and
Totally.
whatever. When he slugs someone with that sound effect, you buy it.
And you know what? He's dressed almost exclusively in khaki and leather, and he just makes it work. Like, you can't have a white shirt and baggy ass beige pants and a leather jacket and a whip. It's everything. He's just cool. He's just cool.
Yep.
It's his thing. Absolutely.
All right, that's why it falls for me.
Okay.
at
Fair
number
enough.
5.
Fair enough. My number 4 is where I put Mission Impossible.
Okay.
So there's that.
Yeah. So I just said 1 or 2 spots higher on the list. I
Sure.
was accurate in that one, but I would have definitely have thought Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy would be higher. So I guess we're going to see what's coming. My number 4 is a very me pick, and you won't argue with it. It's the Evil Dead series.
Yeah. You know, it's coming to it.
It had to come. The first film, this low budget indie darling of a
I
horror
never saw
film.
the first one.
Yeah, I wouldn't put you through that.
Yeah,
It's fine because it's a pure horror film, but it's a shit low budget pure horror film. Which then that said, I say shit, but because it shouldn't work, but it does. There's this magic there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's inventiveness, it's innovativeness. Then it has Stephen King basically support it with a 1-line review saying the best horror film I've seen of this year or
Bloody
something.
hell. Did he say that?
Yeah. And then bam, the floodgates opened, and they mortgaged their houses, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, to be able to make this film. And then off they went on number 2 a few years later. And that is one of my all-time favorite films.
What? How did they, is it a thing in the horror film industry to have a sequel that isn't actually continuing from the first one?
Yeah, there were rights issues, which is the long story short.
So what happened in the second one is Ash, it's the same Ash character.
It is the same Ash character. At the end of the first one, he's the only one left. And the implication is he's dead. He gets hit by the great evil force, and he's going to be turned, and it ends.
So did they even try and explain that in the second one?
No,
It
they
just
just basically, to avoid the rights issues, they remade and they just redid the 90 minutes of the first one, or 80 minutes of the first one. They redid it in a quick 3-minute kind of intro with him and Bridget Fonda is his girlfriend.
Oh,
which
really?
was at the start of Evil Dead 2 in a very early role.
Huh.
And she gets taken and killed, and he has to fight her off and then gets hit by the evil, which we then see what happens through the course of the movie. This is his transition from being this simpering fool into this reluctant action hero. And he's so fucking cool, and it has some of my all-time great uplifting film moments.
Ah, yes, this did
Fuck
make
everyone.
completely wrong choice last week. Yes, fantastic.
when he assembles himself and goes in to fight. Like, this guy who's a craven coward confronts his fears is, to me, completely uplifting. Don't understand what people don't understand about that, but there we are. And then number 3 is good. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
The
It's
one I
very
like.
light.
The one I like most.
Very, very light. It's a comedy first. It's fantasy comedy. It's got some horror elements because, skeletons and cadavers are fighting people, but it's played for like Clash of the Titans type laughs. It's what's his name?
Harryhausen.
Harryhausen effects type stuff with the claymation.
Claymation.
And the like. And then we get the reboot in 2013, I want to say.
But that's not TV. That's on TV.
No.
Yeah.
The reboot. There was it was a reboot of the
What?
film series, yeah. And then it was a straight horror again, directed by Fede Alvarez, the guy who did Don't Breathe.
Who was in it?
Can't remember anyone off the top of my head.
Okay, so obviously I didn't even hear about that. Okay, there you
Why
go.
would you go and watch that one? And it's again straight horror, and it's pretty good. Like, it's not as good as the
But as a
original.
reboot, it is not counted in this film series.
I guess not.
Yeah.
But then at the very end, they throw an allusion to Ash. As in,
So it's different
they may
characters.
cross over. No, there's no Ash in this version.
Oh, so it's not necessarily a reboot.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe it's a reboot implies we're going again.
No, reboot means you're taking
Starting
the
from
old
scratch.
character. Yeah, taking the scratch. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
anyway,
all your
so
characters.
at the
Yeah.
end, it looks like maybe we'll get a crossover, which has never happened.
Fair enough.
And then we get the TV series, which I've seen only the first 2 seasons of because I don't want to end it. Still good.
Okay,
So, yeah, that's why it's here at my number 4.
cool. All right. Well, my number 3 will not surprise you at all. And it does a little fly in the face of our thing where it's like, well, how many were good, how many were bad.
Uh-oh.
I haven't seen all of them, and there's a shit
We
ton
haven't
of them.
watched.
Well, no, I think I have seen all of them.
Whoa, hold
Look,
on.
asshole with a stupid soundboard. It's fucking James Bond, okay? It's James Bond. There's a shit ton of these
See
movies.
my earlier comments about spies and women and gadgets.
Absolutely.
And suits.
There is 26 of these damn things, and they've been going back since 1962. All right.
How many have you seen?
I actually
Approximately.
look. I have actually seen them all, but I don't care for them all, and I don't remember
Yeah, because
shit
some of
about
them are
Dr.
absolute
No.
shit, right?
Yes. Well, His Majesty's Secret Service, like the George Lazenby one, everyone hates that one. But as a rule, as a character, as a entity and its penetration of the social consciousness, the Bond thing, Paul, you're alone. You're the only one who doesn't like Bond. Everyone else likes him.
It's not a case I don't like Bond. I don't love the films automatically.
Sure.
And unqualifiedly. I think the new series of films, look, I'm keen for the next one. I just think Spectre was an absolute disappointment.
You know what? I saw it again and it was good.
No, it's not.
It's good. It's actually a good movie. This is fucking
Skyfall's a good film.
Skyfall's great.
Casino Royale's a good film.
Awesome,
Quantum
the best
of
one.
Solace, not a good film.
Casino Royale is the best
And
one.
Spectre is
the
not a
best
good film.
one. All right. Spectre is still good, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, yes, but the whole who will play next James Bond. This is something that the whole world is engaged in. It's massive internationally. So for me, it is its own thing.
Again, you are somewhat pandering, but also it is kind of you to ignore the terrible, of which arguably that half the entries in James Bond films aren't good films at all.
I don't think it's as much as half. It's that we went through the odd 70s period. Like there's a lot of Roger Moore things.
We went through that whole period that was a little odd. What are you talking about? 1969 to 1984.
Well, I think no. I think that the actual the fact that it's so enduring means you're going to have like this. You can't make the same jokes anymore. What you know? What I mean, it's like the whole different ideology all the way through. So you're going to get some shitty ones, but I still think it's the bomb.
All right then. Why number? Oh, geez. Here we go. What was that? Your 3? My number 3 is not going to be on the list, and it damn well should be.
What?
It's the Toy Story series.
It's on my list.
Whoa!
Higher than this. It's my number 2. Fuck it.
Holy shit!
Yes, because,
really.
And here's how non.
Wayne hates animated films.
Yes, but here's how objective I am as a result. Okay.
Okay, listen to the pandering now.
No. I don't. Toy Story is not my favorite thing because it's animated, but I can't fault that all 4 are outstanding. Like all 4 of them are the shit. And
You're mocking me,
and even
aren't
that
you?
fourth one, no, that fourth one.
That was
That's
also appropriate.
Yeah, because you suck at this shit.
That wasn't appropriate.
Oh, you mean the movie or the sound?
The sound was in the movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said inappropriate. Anyway,
No, it's appropriate.
I think we could just settle this by saying fuck yourself. But the fourth one should have been a piece of shit now, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It was 20 years later or whatever, and it's like, boom. And it's like, shit, you know what? That's actually worth a
About
look.
10 years later,
10
or
years
9
is it?
years later. Yeah.
10 years? Okay. So, yeah, how can 4 killer ones, 10 years apart or whatever,
Well, 25 years between start to finish, I think, give or take.
and they fucking hit a home run every single time? This thing is off the chain, man. It's number 2 for me and number 3 for you. I know you love it, though.
Yeah, it was always going to be on here. I think this is the best family kids animated film series that is equally for adults.
Makes sense. Yes.
The jokes are playing on an adult level, not all the time, but a lot of the
No,
time.
yeah.
There's
It's
so
a
much there
tonal
for
thing.
you as an adult, as much as there is for you as a kid. My kid loved these films. I love these films. Like, there are literally no other films that fall into that category.
You know what I'm intrigued in, right? The thing I like just overall about Toy Story and the news is that who's the kid? Who's the
Andy.
Andy. Okay. So Andy has toys from different franchises and puts them all together, and they're in this scene where they're all doing shit. Like He-Man is hanging out with the fucking soldiers or whatever. There's no He-Man, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so a version thereof.
Yeah,
They're
the
being very careful.
Yeah, sorry, of course they are. But I used to do that. Can I assume you used to do that as well? All your toys would have like there would be some narrative that you created in your head.
Of course.
Where all of them turned up.
That's what you do. You play with your toys.
Exactly, you play
I
with
watch
your
my
toys.
daughter doing it now. She has like
Like
Barbies,
Barbie,
sure,
talking to
pet,
My Little
whatever the
Pony or
fuck.
some shit.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. A bit more kind
Right.
of Bratz dolls, on which
Exactly.
her mum gave her, and all that kind of stuff. And they're all interacting and whatever else. And Daddy, this one is that one's baby. And I'm like, really? Yeah, of course. It's
Very
smaller.
big. Yeah, okay. Oh, smaller. Okay. So she knows, see? But isn't that kind of the essence of childhood? You are making the world make sense to you by creating a narrative that no one told you you're not supposed to do. That's why this Toy Story shit is the bomb. That's what he's doing, and it made me feel good. So,
100%. And to say nothing, it was the first CG entirety film shot entirely in
was
CG.
it?
Yeah, the first one.
Ah.
So it broke new ground on that level as well.
Very nice, man. That was my 2, so it's up to your 1, 2.
Oh,
Your
so
2.
yeah, back to me for my number 2. Dark Knight.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. How's a Batman fan going to gag on that? Absolutely.
I just think I could sit down and watch all 3 of those films. In fact, next weekend here in Perth, and I think all around Australia, they're playing in Reading cinemas Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Pretty tempted to hit the cinema for the first time in 4 months to watch The Dark Knight again.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Gold class, man. Get some nachos.
Ooh, showing gold class, I'm sold. Not for the
Yeah.
nachos, just
Not
for
nachos?
I got enough
For the
space
ice cream
between
sundae
me and the next person.
Oh, I see.
Look, we're going pretty well here, so there's no community transmission at the moment. But tempted,
Always scared. Always
tempted
scared.
to say that's the first film I went back and saw after COVID. That's a good story too,
Yeah, that's not bad. Man,
as
I'm
opposed
looking
to something
forward
like Blood fucking Shot.
Oh, blood shit. Fuck that. Okay.
All right, give us your recap, Wayne, and then your number 1.
Cool. 10, Indiana Jones. 9, Jack Ryan. 8, Austin Powers. 7, Back to the Future. 6,
course, what's your
Lethal
number 1?
Weapon. 5, Batman. Dark Knight. 4, Mission Impossible. 3, James Bond. 2, Toy Story. And 1, of course, is the MCU. Oh, nice one. Thank you. Paul slid that right in like a dick.
Like a surreptitious penis. There is no surreptitious penises, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. They're all
That's
very, very
inappropriate.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, go on. I guess you've already said.
I've said everything, man. That's the best one ever.
Like
Come
I said,
on.
I know I lost, and I knew this would be your number 1 or 2. I thought maybe that and Dark Knight, to be honest, would have been my guess.
But now I don't want to know what your number 1 is.
Yeah. Well, if you've paid any attention at all to me in the last 2 or 3 years of the podcast, you will know what my number 1 is.
So I don't.
My number 10 is correct. Alien franchise. Number 9, the MCU. Have lost Paul. Number 8, the Mad Max series. 7, the Back to the Future series. 6, Mission Impossible. 5, Indiana Jones is where it should be. 4, the Evil Dead series. 3, Toy Story series. 2, the Dark Knight trilogy. And my number 1, unquestionably, gone on record, said it several times already, the John Wick trilogy.
Oh, fuck off! That didn't even make my HMs, bitch.
You're an idiot.
Oh, cracker, please.
Pound for pound, not a bad film. All of them, in my book, rate 4 stars and above. All of them.
If you put all of his fighting moves together, only 4 items. That's it. That whole first one, he did the same move 200 times, all right? Don't get me wrong. I like a bit of John Wick. The last one was the best one. The second one was a bag of shit.
Oh, come on.
Second one was
I'm
shit.
pretty sure you gave the second one like a 70.
Yeah, but like by comparison, you know what? I'm getting
70. You know what I'm saying? 70.
No, I'm
Not any other trilogy or series on your list has ranked that highly.
I'm only guessing that you know because you know shit like this. Okay, so I'm understanding with that. However, I'm treating it with more disdain because you think it's the number 1 franchise on the planet, bitch. There is no way
more excited.
ever.
John Wick 4 out tomorrow or the next MCU film. I'm watching John Wick 4 fucking barred up.
That's because what? That's fucking ridiculous. That is ridiculous, man.
Truth. The next Evil Dead film comes out. In fact, they're talking about an Evil Dead reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's old and fat now. It's fine. Of course you don't.
Actually, they're not talking about that would be a reboot. I don't think they're talking about with Ash again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
and they're talking about being in a skyscraper or something in the city rather than in the cabin in the woods.
That's not interesting.
I'd rather watch John Wick 4.
I would too because it's
John Wick 4. The next Indiana Jones film or John Wick 4? John Wick 4. So do you think this is how it gets to my number 1?
Okay. completely erroneous way of looking at this.
What do you mean?
Completely
It's my
wrong.
rationale. You can't
By
just
your rationale, the series that is over largely suffers because it completed its fucking run.
But no,
Doesn't make sense.
the primary reason is it is the highest ranked in all my ratings of any film series.
Fucking so wrong. It's not funny.
Wrong. You can't tell me my ranking is
Oh,
wrong.
I can tell you that directly. But
That said, I do agree that people will agree with you. Like, oh my god, it's too high, Paul. Shouldn't be on here. How's the MCU below this? Whatever. I'm being honest. I wasn't going to change it around because I didn't have time.
No, that's good. I you know what? You probably do oddly well. I mean, people are like, hey, it's a whole new Paul. He's not lying anymore. Maybe it'll be like that. And this motherfucker gave up politics and now he's a fucking freedom fighter? What? Should go really well. I think it's going to go great. I think it's going to go great.
Go on then. Give us your honorable mentions, Wayne, because John Wick is the greatest action film series of all time
Cracker,
and, in my
please.
mind, the best film series of all time.
Just listen to this class. The Naked Gun.
Yeah, on my honorables as well.
The Star Trek reboot. I loved them all. I don't give a fuck.
No, it's not a reboot. I see there. I'm like, they're not a reboot because they actually cross over the original Spock. You have to count them all.
And that means the James T. Kirk ones?
All of them.
Yeah, fine. They're all pretty good except for that fucking first Star Trek one. That was
May
shit.
I remind you of a little film called Star Trek 5.
What was that one? The Voyage Home? No, that was 4.
No, 6 was the Undiscovered Country. 5 was whatever piece of shit that was. How about all the
Was that the one with the Picard and Kirk?
Yeah, Generations.
That fucking rocked.
No, piece of
that
shit.
fucking one rocked.
No, that
man.
was 7. 7
it?
was Generations. Terrible as well.
Generation was cool. That was good.
The only one's any good in that,
I mean, the
in
way
that
they got
series is
capped was a
First
bit bullshit,
Contact.
but you know, First Contact was great. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, you mean the 3, the original, the reboot
No,
ones.
sorry, the rebooted
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
With you on all those. I'll add, and the one that I dropped off my list that was on GOT stratosphere.com, the Cornetto trilogy.
Ah, yeah.
Very
I didn't think
high.
about that.
And I dropped it off because really, honestly,
Last one sucked.
no, I don't hate
Yeah.
The World's End the way that you do. I think it's fine. It's nowhere near the other 2 films. Let's be clear here.
I actually wouldn't mind watching it again.
But at
Maybe
the end of the day, they share the same
I'm surprised
actors.
this didn't make your list.
But there's no reference in the films to each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, other than the same actors. So they don't really share the same universe.
Yes.
So it's behind the scenes that they're a trilogy, not within the so that's why I dropped it out.
Okay, do you know this French or these movies called Three Colors?
Yep.
So Trois Colliers Blancs or
Yeah,
whatever?
I've seen 2 of them.
Yeah. Okay, so are they also not...
I
same
don't
story?
remember there being any reference to
the other ones
Yeah,
in
but
there.
then again, I'm not going to pretend like I watched them with a find. So I'm sure there are fans out there who will say, "Oh, actually, Paul, you
Yeah, yeah,
dickhead." So-
Okay, cool. I noticed Predator was oddly absent from your list and honorable mentions. Is it because Predators and The Predator sucked so much ass that it cancelled out The Predator and The
Predator
Predator
series
2?
makes at the very end Tarantino-verse. I toyed with putting
Yeah,
in
well, they actually
because I have in-universe references
Yes,
to each
they are.
other,
I
but
think
they're
they all-
not. But they're not hard enough to.
Yeah, because then you could choose a Steven Spielberg.
Lord of the Rings. If it was just a trilogy, the
Yeah,
first one.
everyone, Lord of the Rings. Everyone's gonna chuck a shit about this, right? The fucking 3 bad ones cancelled out the 3 good ones.
Agreed. Sorry,
Right?
sorry, Chris. I'm sorry,
Not
man.
all the way, but a lot of the way.
I love that trilogy of films. Like they are my own third.
They
board.
are the shit. They are.
But The Hobbit they are terrible. They are reprehensibly bad films that were bad. They made a lot of money because they were trading off the goodwill of those Lord of the Rings films and they had the same creative team behind them. But they're garbage. And even Peter Jackson has said, don't start making a film unless you've got a completed script.
Oh yeah, and I know that happens a lot too.
Star Wars, I considered.
Star Wars, everyone chucks a shit, right? But
Yep.
you know what? Star Wars,
but the
I
bad
considered too.
films are equal with the good films now.
Yeah. At this equal though. See, here's the thing. Wow, how many is it?
By number, I
Yeah.
would say.
Because what do you got? So your original trilogy, everyone likes those.
Yeah, absolutely.
I liked the 4th one, right? No one else did. Revenge of the Sith.
Sorry, you mean the sixth?
Sorry,
the
third
one.
The third one. So sorry, no, this.
If
Yeah,
you're
the
talking
third
about
one.
the third one chronologically, but the 6th one made.
Yeah. That one. So Revenge of the Sith, I like that one. I didn't mind The Force Awakens at all. Liked it very
Force
much.
Awakens fine.
Right? Didn't
It's a
mind the second
reboot of
one
Star
either.
Wars or remake of Star Wars, but
Yeah,
whatever.
but now you go to your Solo.
Last Jedi's and your Solo and your Rise of Skywalker.
I didn't mind. The Rise of Skywalker.
But,
was
and
the
we're also
problem.
glossing over the Phantom Menace and Attack of the fucking Clones, which are both garbage.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I like Attack of the Clones, but you know that's jokes like that. I did think about putting it in, but I was like, you know what? It's just, it's not quite there.
Rocky series.
Yeah, because then you get your
Very
creeds
close.
and
The
whatnot.
Creed's almost
very
elevated
important.
back in, yeah.
Very important.
Scream series.
Yeah, Scream's
Only
mostly-
Scream 3 is the only poor one,
And
really.
then that's where you start to go, okay, we'll let one in. Harold and Kumar, they're okay. They're okay. They're not going to make a list.
Harold Kumar.
You know?
The only other two for me, Final Destination series. I like that.
I was wondering if you were going to put
I
that
like
in there.
that series of films. 3 is garbage.
Yeah.
4 is average.
That's
1, 2, and 5 are excellent. I will stand by that. Whatever.
For 5 to be excellent is pretty big.
5 is great. It's the best 3D film I've ever watched.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And finally, The Viewersk Universe. Kevin Smith's linked together film.
If only was it the last one he did? What was it? Clerks
Or
3?
Jay and Silent
Yeah, that one.
Bob reboot.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's terrible.
God, look. I love you, Kevin Smith. I don't care what you do. I still love you.
You have to pass for life, according
That's
to
it.
Wayne.
Pretty much.
That's our list. What about yours? Let's wrap all this up in the segment that we call the listener feedback, aka the Pop 10. Talk about Pop 10. Talk about Pop 10. Kicking off this week's Pop 10 with some old school love. Ryan L. Terry said A Nightmare on Elm Street. No one mentioned that one. Scream and Halloween. Yeah, okay.
This is one of your people. Right
I
there.
guess so, yeah. Some horror love there. Clubber Lang's Pity said number 3, The Dark
Rocky.
Knight. Number 2, Toy Story. Number 1, MCU.
Nice.
Billy Dizzle from the We Watch the Thing podcast had number 3, The VS Universe. VS Universe? View as Universe.
USQ, yep.
2, The Before Sunrise, Sunset, Midnight trilogy.
It's a sensitive man right here. Sensitive man.
Oh, we know that about B. Dizzle
Ethan
for
Hawke.
sure. And number 1, Star Wars. Damn.
Mm.
Cinematic Blind Spots, Friday 13th, Child's Play / Chucky, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. So more horror there.
More of your people?
Brad from the Cinema Guys, again, Nightmare on Elm Street. The Fast and the Furious franchise.
Now, come on. Okay? Because, look, the first one wasn't even...
can't handle the
The
truth.
first one wasn't even good, right? But we did like it. I liked it very much. There's a lot of jokes, reference. Monica! Then what? I remember the next good one being Fast 5.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then we're getting this fucking Hobbs and Shaw
Oh,
bullshit.
fuck Hobbs and Shaw.
Fuck all that shit.
But the other Fast and Furious ones do make me laugh a
Well,
lot.
Tokyo Drift actually wasn't bad. It's just that I liked it. It was a whole different thing.
And Brad's number 1, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then from Dan Brennick from the Netflix and Sword podcast, good friend, said
All right.
Fast and Furious.
Oh, shit.
Oh, again, he loves the shit out of that. Be the Solution on Twitter said number 3, Avengers despite a week. Number 2, so obviously he just went that trilogy or quadrilogy. Number 2, Indiana Jones. All 3 films are awesome. Sharing the joke.
Again.
And Mission Impossible, number 1, just keeps on getting better. Agreed. Brentley Oliver, friend to the Epic Film Guys and Netflix and Swirl podcast, said number 3, Star Trek. Yeah. Number 2, MCU.
Yeah.
Number 1, James Bond.
Yeah, baby.
There's
That's
a
how we do.
Vote for you, sir. Parents' Night In, aka Boozy Movie Reviews. 3, Indiana Jones. 2, Dark Knight Trilogy. Number 1, Star Wars. Drinking and Screaming Horror Movies Podcast. Harry Potter. First mention thereof.
If only we'd seen it,
Yeah,
I
I
wonder
haven't
if we'd
seen it.
think.
We
You know what
can't-
I'm saying?
we can't
Yeah.
really. Friday 13th and the Conjuring series. Wayne, I think you've seen most of those.
Yeah. How is that possible?
This one you'll love. The Oscar Real Movie Podcast. Number 3, 3 Ninjas. Number 2, Tyler Perry's Medea. Number 1, Ernest Scared Stupid Movies.
That's trolling right there.
Or if I'm being serious, Mad Mad. That's what it literally says. Mad Max / Middle Earth. Number 2, Mission Impossible. Number 1, MCU.
Yeah.
All right, over to the Facebook community to wrap this one up. John Hulslander said, seems to me that clearly the ones are Bond, Star Wars, MCU, but I'm going to give some love to some other indie sort of ones. Evil Dead, Mission Impossible, and the Kevin Smith verse. Chris Uni, patron extraordinaire. Again, Harry Potter for getting the same kids, even many tertiary characters under contract to do them all. James Bond, number 2. The hype continually grows and has permeated culture for decades. And number 1, Dirty Harry.
Old school.
Popularized lone wolf law enforcement in cinema and spreading Clint Eastwood's name across the globe even more so than from his westerns.
You know, I like the Deadpool. I actually like that movie, the Dirty Harry one, the 4th one.
Is that the one? No, which is
It's
I'm
got Liam
thinking of the
Neeson.
rookie
It's got-
with Charlie Sheen.
No. That one's got Liam Neeson in it. And,
Does it?
Yeah, and Jim Carrey. It's weird.
Jesus.
Yes.
Carrying it really well. Nick Spinarski had Toy Story films at 3, Harry Potter at number 2, and the Sunrise series at number 1 because very realistic view of love, relationship, and marriage, funny and tragic, beautiful look into the relationship spanning decades.
Okay.
Hard to argue with that logic. Epic film guy Nicholas Haskins is back on Facebook and he said, number 3, John Wick. Yeah, Nicholas. Number 2, The Viewersk Universe, despite the flaming dog shit that is Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
What a
Number
kind man.
Lord of the Rings. I don't care how mediocre The Hobbit is. It doesn't tarnish the brilliant work done on all 3 originals. Whoever rates Star Wars lower or leaves it off the list entirely gets my vote. There you go. So we both did. Kevin Lawler said, Trish and his wife get 6 picks right. Well, I jumped in with the way too obvious Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, and the 3 Indiana Jones films. Trisha, who is more suave than I am, came up with Saw, Final Destination, and the most important, Naked Gun.
Yeah, boy.
Isn't she imperfect? Or yeah, girl, in this case.
A girl, yes.
And we're going to wrap it up, bar one, with the man himself who came up with this list, Geordie Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
Patron, top level, all-round champion, said number 3, Mission Impossible, because he based this score on how many passes the film franchise had. Mission Impossible, 86%. Really, every movie besides the second is good, and really, they just keep getting better, which never happens. Number 2, Star Trek, 92%. Approval rating from Geordie. Aside from Star Trek, the motionless picture.
Yeah, first one shit.
Every film in this franchise is at least watchable, and some are pretty damn good.
Boom.
Number 1, John Wick, 100%. Every film so far is fantastic, and the world building doesn't get enough credit.
You had to be until the end there.
Its honorable mentions were to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, 83%, lost some points with Hulk in the first 2 Thors. James Bond, 79%. Roger Moore films dropped this one off the list. Harry Potter, 75%. The first 2 films are weak. Lord of the Rings, 67%, if only they hadn't released the Hobbit films. And Star Wars, which has so many shit entries that it was never really a contender, 36% without counting the Ewok Adventures or the Christmas special.
Okay, he's you. He's you, like the quantification and the percentages and shit. Okay, okay, all right.
Awesome.
Hey, there had to be another one.
That's a bingo.
Yoda did speak of another.
Now, this last one might sound innocuous. From Green Monkey on Twitter. Jurassic Park Aliens Sharknado.
Okay, well.
The reply to that came from Carrie Hen.
What?
I.e. Newt from Aliens. Excuse me, miss. You have those in the wrong order, and may I ask why Sharknado is on there, not even in the same league as the other 2?
Wait. Newt responded to something on a what?
Yep.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know.
Why is this not a bigger deal? Put a post up.
I even liked, she even liked my reply where I said,
Oh my god!
The other
Newt
half.
likes your reply!
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty excited. I said, my other half of my Aliens nerdgasm has gone to heaven after interviewing Jeanette Goldstein a couple of years ago.
Dude, can you get her? We'll make it a whole thing.
We could interview all the cast.
Get
members
around
of Aliens.
to Sigourney.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
Are you shitting me? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
All right, that's your list, and that's the end of this week's episode 275 of the Countdown. If you want to let us know your feedback on the topic at hand, or just feedback on the show in general, Wayne, how did I do that?
They can go ahead and Google The Countdown Podcast or send us an email at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com.
We're on Twitter at the Countdown PC. We host through Podbean. You can like and follow the show there, and check out the Facebook List community. Link is in the show notes, and we host on ccradio.com.au with ourselves and a bunch of other great Aussie podcasts. Do check them out. Speaking of, next week, Wayne, for episode 276, we're having one of the CC Radio crew on the show.
Yeah. We're having Ray Ray. That's how I call her. It's actually Rachel.
Rachel from the Fangirling
podcast. Sorry.
Not the contest, the podcast. That's correct.
Give it to you again.
And what are we doing, Wayne?
We are doing I don't know.
Oh, God.
Sorry, cunt. We're doing the top 10 TV and film couples.
Yeah.
Now, Paul has a little bit of apprehension about this as he's a real man who does not care about emotions. And so, you know.
Fuck you.
What you're going to get. I'm sorry. He's a robot that doesn't care. Call back. All right. So, so that's like, you know, but
For me, you're somewhere between a cockroach and that white stuff that accumulates at the corner of your mouth when you're really thirsty.
All right. So, yeah, TV film couples, man. It's going to be a little romantic. I think.
Apparently it is. And the week after, I can guarantee you it's going to be back into Paul zone. All
Yeah.
right. Just giving you the heads up.
Top 10 foreskins. Yeah. All right.
Now, last thing to announce before we wrap up today is we're doing a bit of a competition. We're introducing this on the show over the next month. We're going to do a few of these. This week's competition will earn you a Countdown prize pack
Yeah.
of a t-shirt of your choosing and a mug of your choosing,
Exactly.
emblazoned with the Countdown logo.
That's right.
So we're asking for any and all.
Reviews on iTunes.
That's correct. If you drop a review for us,
On iTunes, just bust it down there. You go right into the running, and then we'll yank one
send
out,
it out.
get in front of you, and say, "Hey, hit us back." You will get a T-shirt of your size and a mug of your style.
Now, let's be clear here. We're envisaging we might get 3 or 4. It's a pretty good odds.
Pretty good odds, man.
Pretty good odds. So
Pretty good odds. I would do this if I were y'all.
if you haven't reviewed the show yet, get on that. If you have reviewed the show, you can always create another account if you really feel like it.
And That seems a little unfair. We'll do something else for you guys later.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got some other things in the works that people have already helped out the show. In particular, there'll be some prize pack giveaways for patrons coming soon.
Dose Steph.
All right, that's the end of this week's episode 275 of the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Paul.
My name is Wayne.
And this has been The Soundboard. I think people missed it. It's been a few weeks.
No one missed it.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Sorry, did I step on something really
No, it's
good?
cool. It was something I wanted to discuss about your boyfriend, Joss Whedon. Have you heard any news about him this week?
Oh, he's a bad boy.
Ooh. Do you know
Is he
Ray?
my boyfriend or is he our boyfriend?
He's sort of your boyfriend with the Buffy thing. Look, I'm giving him to you.
Oh, now you are. Before that, you were all busy fighting over his rectum.
That's true. Ray, the guy who played Cyborg,
Yeah.
right? He
Reckons he's a tyrant.
He's a cunt. He said I have to refute all this. He's a real asshole. This, that, whatever. And I'm like, oh God, no, Joss. Joss is amazing. How could Joss be anything but? Apparently, he was very, very harsh on Zach's version and was but this is shit and that is crap. So that whole thing we heard about, hey, he's the guy who's gonna save the movie. And that is all bollocks, man.
Well, it is according to him, and apparently Cyborg's role was way meatier. So I do feel like you always have to be careful.
He would be pissed because he was cut out of the movie.
You got to be a little bit careful with these things, right?
But what's weird about this is that this guy, this Cyborg guy, Ray, whatever his name is, he's an up-and-comer. He's not in a position to do this. This is very, very... This is a move that you make. And no one called on him to do this.
No, but all right, think about this. He's an up-and-comer, you say. What else has he been in?
I don't know anything. That
Exactly. So how do you get your star to shine a little bit more?
Well, rag on.
Look, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that I don't think you can take one dude's word on it. When other people start to come out in support of that, a la, you heard what happened with the Glee actress. I don't watch fucking Glee. I don't understand Glee from shit.
Michelle Lee or whatever it is,
Yeah. Like, one person had a go at her, and then 17 other people stacked on.
Okay.
That's
a bit more.
There's only so many times you can hear the same story, a la about Richard Gere and the gerbil.
Fair enough.
Before you start to believe it, right? Same deal here. If someone else, if Gal Gadot, if Ben Affleck, if whatever, they all come out in support of the Cyborg dude, then I'll believe it.
Right. They will not do that. They would. It was just there's no upside for them to do that.
Right.
So this guy, I get it. So yeah, I understand.
Or even the little extras and whatever on the set, like people who are no names, who are, he was a tyrant. He was an asshole. He was constantly railing against Zack Snyder in his version.
Yeah, it's just a particularly dishy piece of news, I thought, like for that. I'm like, that's okay. We'll see how it goes, though.
No, obviously, I'm going to be like everybody else. I'm going to watch the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
Oh, I
will give you my literal guarantee right now. It is not going to be twice as good. It might be a half a star better because they've learnt the lessons from everything that people have said. It's like having a second chance to write an assignment.
Absolutely.
If you can't improve on or to do a unit for the second time, if you can't fucking improve on your first score, something's fucking wrong.
Forget about it. This is going to be, it could easily suck. Like, it could easily just suck. So, whatever. But it's nice that it's something out there.
Well, it comes out, let's see. I'll be
heard
genuinely surprised if it's great, though.
Yeah.
Genuinely. In fact, I'll be shocked.
Did you hear the Ryan Reynolds rumor?
No?
Apparently there's talk that he might appear in it as Green Lantern. Just, I don't know, man. Because there was a Green Lantern in the original cut.
Was there?
Yeah. It was when Superman came to, like, Alfred, that scene was actually supposed to be Green Lantern turning up to Alfred.
Oh, that shot in the trailer. Where
It's like, thank God you're here.
Yeah.
That would have been so cool. But anyway, enough of that.
All right. There's your bonus content in the episode. Woo!